I reminisce. Yeah. I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say?
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to be a successful foreclosure acquisition specialist. And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny.
Hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. This is your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny, recording from the Creative Density Studios in downtown Denver, Colorado. As always, my producer, Mr. Jonathan Winston, up in the booth. What's up, Jay?
Man, life is good, man. Life is good for me. It's a nice day outside still, and we're out here, we're able to give more information and able to learn more about the market and become better at what we do as far as being foreclosure specialists and real estate brokers. So it's good for me.
Yeah, man, life is good. It's incredible time. Hey, let's get into it right now, okay? Obviously, if you've been listening to media at all, you've heard about this coronavirus thing, right? Have you heard about this yet?
The Rona.
The Rona. The Rona. Well, some other people have heard about it too, mortgage lenders. And this LA Times article really posting to the page is referring to home lenders bracing for up to 15 million mortgage defaults. 15 million people who are not going to pay their mortgages. Now, here's the thing about mortgage lenders. We talk a lot about how, we're not a big fan here of the banking system. Not that we dislike banks, just that, if you're on one side or the other side of that case, right? So the thing about banks as it sits today is they have these servicers, mortgage servicers, okay? And the mortgage servicers, they're kind of the guy who's supposed to collect the note. So they go out and they get the money for the and then they guarantee the lenders is going to get paid in full whether the guy pays the note or not, okay? So the banks are like, well, this is a great deal. I'm going to get this mortgage servicer. Like, they're going to collect. They're going to send all the bills out. Well, this thing we got to worry about. We get our money no matter what. Great deal. So concept, great. The problem was the Fed stepped in and goes, well, this is just not that simple. Like, you guys got to keep enough in reserves to make sure you can cover these notes and keep paying so the servicers don't go out of business because they're paying off the lender. And if the servicers go out of business, then the people aren't going to know who to pay their mortgages to. The mortgages are going to go late. It turns into this real big mess, right?
Hey, man, it all sounded so easy before. I'm like the banks, man. Like, come on. What's going on?
So this whole layer, right? So if 15 million people, my point, if 15 million people default, these servicers, they got to pay the lenders anyway.
Oh.
Okay? The problem with that is they've been forced to keep reserves. There's a ratio of money they have to keep versus mortgages they service, okay? So they have a reserve account because they have to by law. But that reserve is about to get chipped into pretty fast. Now, that doesn't sound like something you should care about, right? But here's why you should. If the servicers can't service loans, they also can't take on new loans.
Oh, okay.
Right? And if they can't take on new loans, then suddenly it becomes very difficult for a Joe Schmo home buyer to purchase a home. Now, whether you are Joe Schmo home buyer, wannabe first-time home buyer, or you're an investor, this is a problem. Okay? Because we need those servicers to stay afloat. And right now, they are planning for the worst case scenario of up to 15 million people not paying them. So they're responding by increasing the FICO requirements, which just a short month ago were like, you got a FICO score? You're in. You got a 580 and you're breathing? Congrats, you're approved, right? Can you fog this mirror? Yes, you can get a mortgage, right?
We got you, buddy.
We weren't that extreme. I can tell you in 08 we were that extreme. They called it stated income loans. It was the greatest time of my life. Okay? You got a pulse? You're approved. It's not that extreme, but they're now increasing the FICO requirements. They're only taking on borrowers that have a lower probability of defaulting. This is also a problem. See, mortgage defaults don't just affect the guy who has a mortgage who's getting behind. It also affects the guy who's got to sell his house if there are less potential people to buy that property, right? So today's show, we're going to talk about, in a time where foreclosure's at an all-time low, but heading the other direction, right? When defaults are starting to abound, how does one find a deal in a marketplace like this? Where do we go to find deals? Well, for a very long time, as a foreclosure deals coach, I was pushing you towards the HUD foreclosure and VA foreclosure marketplace. But as we mentioned a couple times, there aren't going to be foreclosures for the next 90 days. They put a moratorium on it, so none of those are going to exist. So where do we go to find deals right now? Well, although I have built my branding and this very message you're hearing on the Foreclosure Deals Coach moniker, a large percentage of the business I get from my investors comes right off the MLS, right off the market. Wait,
wow.
I know. There are deals on the market? Yes, there are deals on the market. There are deals in every market, right? But why couldn't we find them? Because, once again, not knocking the wonderful agent population, my peers out there.
We love you guys.
Love you. But the average agent's been licensed for just over 3 years, okay? They have not seen a foreclosure market. Many of them who've been in the market for 10 years or more have literally never written a HUD contract, and they wouldn't know a deal if it bit them firmly on the behind. Okay, that's just reality. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm saying that's fact. So one of the ways, we're gonna start with a couple of ways now you guys can go out there and find deals in the marketplace. So if you're a foreclosure investor, a wannabe foreclosure buyer, or just a retail buyer looking to buy a home at a discount, we're gonna go over a couple ways you can find that in a market where foreclosures are currently scarce, but I promise you are gonna head the other direction here shortly. All right, so let's get started. Number one, how do you find a deal? Well, step one is going to be, if you're gonna do this thing, do this with an agent. Now, I just did a little bit of knocking on agents, but I didn't mean that to be negative. Find an agent who's been trained in foreclosures. See, the thing about Foreclosures Deals Coach is we work with individual investors, licensed real estate agents, and just general buyers all at the same time, right? If you're looking to buy a deal on a house, we want to be your source for that, okay? Regardless of how where you are in life, okay? So if you're an investor or any of these and you want to buy a house, reach out to us at Foreclosure Deals Coach. We've got agents all across the country who have been trained by this system to identify deals in your local marketplace.
Find them.
Right? We know how to find them, we know how to fund them, we know how to help you get equity in your position, and we're so good at our job that we offer a $10,000 equity guarantee. Now, depending on where you are, $10,000 might not mean anything, okay? Like that just may not be that big of a deal if houses in your neighborhood are $1 million, okay?
True.
But to give some clarity to how focused we are on finding a deal, we guarantee that you'll have a minimum of 10 grand worth of equity on any purchase you make with one of our Foreclosure Deals Coach trained agents, or we'll give you 10 grand in cash, right? That's crazy, right?
Sounds pretty wild.
Who else is doing that? No one, because we know what a deal looks like, and we can back up that deal with actual numbers of properties that sold in that area to prove that you have bought a deal, not a house. Right? I'll level with you. In the 15 odd years I've been in this business, I have never once fulfilled that $10,000 guarantee by writing a check. Not once. And I do not intend to start with you. Okay? That's a promise. That being said, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. So your first step, if you're looking to buy a deal, is don't sleep on the market, man. They're out there. But a foreclosure trained agent is on the market at 7 o'clock in the morning before anybody else is up. Right? A foreclosure trade agent is running comparable sales. They're not looking for the white picket fence with a pretty outside photo. They're looking for houses that, comparative to everything else in that area, are priced substantially below the marketplace, and they are locking those houses up within hours. I don't mean days. I don't mean a week later we're going to send it out there. We find the best deal and we take it off the market before anybody else had a chance to see it. That's the entire game. It's a game of speed, man. It is speed. Because the best deals are going to get snapped up just like that. Right? So if you are looking, regardless whether you're an investor, a retail buyer, owner, occupant type, okay, a buy and hold investor, you want to work with one of our trained agents in that capacity. If you're gonna buy them on market, you're gonna need an agent to properly navigate those waters. But that agent just can't be Joe Schmo, got my real estate license 3 months ago and hoping to find my first house to sell. Okay? You don't want that guy. He's not going to help you in this space. If you're looking to buy a retail house at retail pricing, there are 1 billion agents, 1.3 million licensed agents in the United States of America, and any of them could do that. But you're listening to this show, the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. So it stands to reason that you're focused on buying a deal, and if you're going to do so, the person representing you in that deal needs to be trained on what a deal looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense? Right? So step one, if you're gonna buy on the market, you wanna get an agent trained by the Foreclosure Deals Coach system. So ask about that. Whatever area you happen to be in, reach out. We will get you in touch with one of our agent liaisons in your local area and help you to find a deal right there in your market. But the on-market deal is not the only answer, ladies and gentlemen. There are some great off-market opportunities out there. So let's move forward. Where else might I find a great deal, not necessarily on the market? Right? Well, a couple places you can go. I'll give you an example. I had a business partner and friend who wanted to live in a very prestigious neighborhood in a very specific zip code, right? And so there wasn't much for sale on the market, and this guy was, one of my constituents, so obviously he wasn't gonna pay retail. So we set up a letter campaign, and we literally sent out letters to people in the neighborhood that said, I want to buy a house in this neighborhood. Because I'm an investor, I'm not super particular on the condition of the property, but I do care a great deal about how much I pay for it. Right? So I can buy it, fix it up to my likings, put the touches on it that I want to put into it, and then I will own that property. We sent out, I think, 300 letters, give or take, in this very prestigious neighborhood. We got 6 phone calls. He ended up buying not only a house for himself, but another one he flipped.
Oh, wow.
And incredible numbers. So sometimes very targeted advertising helps you. Right? You can actually find a deal, and when I have a client who's got a specific need in a specific area, we put together an ad campaign. Now, this was a while back, so letters were all the rage. Today, we could duplicate that with Facebook ads. We could duplicate that by putting LinkedIn ads up. You could throw an ad on Craigslist, for crying out loud, and probably get some calls or feedback as long as it's very targeted. Just putting the We Buy Houses ads out there, it works. You've seen the bandit signs. You've seen the billboards. You might have even seen some of the Facebook advertising, because we do a lot of that as well, right? You've probably seen all those pieces, but that's very direct, that's very broad, and as a result, it works at a certain percentage. What I have found is when you get very specific as to what you want, and you reach out to people who have what you want, you will see a substantial increase in the response rate, because you're talking directly to who you want to talk to. Does that make sense? Right? So very targeted ad campaign to go in. Off market is way better than on market. Do you know why? Well, you don't have to worry about paying the agents. Us agent types add 6%, 3% to the buy side and 3% to the sell side on every single transaction.
We want our 3% for sure.
And we got to have that money, because it's how we run our lives, our businesses, etc. Right? So if you're buying that house for $300,000 listed, the seller is now netting that $300,000 minus 6%, or $280-some-thousand, right? Just out of the gate, they've taken a hit there. $18,000 is gone. So right there, you've added 20 grand nearly to the deal just by getting the property off market. You're speaking to an end seller in terms they can understand, especially today, right? Do you want a bunch of strangers trouncing through your house who may be infected with coronavirus, right? This house is beautiful.
Here, excuse me, is that your face? My bad.
Why are you holding my toothbrush? It's gross, right? All right. Now you're thinking about every showing you've had, right? Just, oh my God, did he touch my toothbrush?
Yeah, he did.
He did. You're telling the seller you don't have to deal with any of that, right? You're telling the seller you can sell it to me net an exact price, and you can just move out on the date that you want, right? So there's one opportunity for off market. right? Now, if you're gonna go more broad stroke because you wanna be a professional real estate investor, there are multiple courses out there, but the term you're looking for is wholesaling, where basically you're generating leads for people who wanna sell their property off market and they wanna sell it at a discount. Right? They understand that it's in disrepair. They understand, listen, when a typical retail agent walks into a crappy house that smells like dog, right, and the windows need to be done, most retail agents, because they work in retail, not because there's anything wrong with them, they look at that property and go, in order for you to sell this property, you've got to do this, 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 and this. Some agents have even gone so far as if the property is not in primo condition, they won't associate their brand with it, right? Some very luxury agents like, if this is not gorgeous, I won't sell it at all, you know? And I'm not knocking that. It's an excellent business model, right? If you think about, I like to use Ferrari analogies a lot, right? But if you're a Ferrari dealership, you don't want to park a Volkswagen, you know, a 1974 Volkswagen Bug that's all rusted out on your lot,
Hey,
right?
I like that thing, man.
That's your problem, though. See what I'm saying? You got to keep that, right? So if some brand management means that the average agent may not touch your house, but you who are looking for a deal, you can jump on that house. So one way to buy under market deals is what we refer to as driving for dollars, right? And there's actually an app called Driving for Dollars. I want you, if you want to do this, go download that app on the App Store right now, Driving for Dollars, and it basically gives you a GPS tracking so you can drive around, look at properties, and what are you looking for? You're looking for yard maintenance that's deferred, right? You're looking for a ratted out car parked in the driveway, busted out windows, right? You're looking for the mailboxes stuffed to the brim with stuff because they haven't been there in a while. You're basically looking for vacant properties that you can buy at a discount. Don't look at the market and go, there's no deals out there, that's that. The guys in the know, the guys who've been making money on real estate investing have been making money, as much money, if not more money, in this upward market as they do in down markets because vacant properties abound. They're all over. Okay, so there's another location you can go. You can hop on Craigslist. You'd be shocked at how many times I just got a lead. This is not a Craigslist, but on Facebook, where a lady posts, hey, I'm interested in selling our house, but like my mom's ill, you know, coronavirus is kind of a concern. Can we avoid this whole agent interaction thing? Well, like 3 billion agents hopped up. 3 billion agents showed up and go, I can sell your house. Like, we can, no problem, man. Like, couple showings, not gonna be a big deal. I'll take some photos. I can sell your house, right? And I was the only voice on there going, I'm a real estate investor. I can buy your house. Right? I can close on any day that you want. I will let you net exactly what you want to net. You can get out of this thing and literally, and so 300 responses from real estate agents and 1 from an investor. Guess who she talked to? Right?
The Foreclosure Deals Coach.
Right? So my point is, if you're in the market, and listen, some of you guys are doing this as a one-off deal, right? You're buying the house for your family. You just want to buy one of them. Okay, that's okay. Think like an investor regardless of what you're going to do with the house. If your exit strategy is sound, you would be relatively unaffected by the crisis we're facing right now. If you bought anything below market, you would not be concerned even a little bit. You know how I know that? Because I'm not concerned, not even a little bit right now. Okay? Because if prices go down a little bit, I'm okay. If you're a retail buyer and you buy a deal and prices go down and you bought, 20% below market and prices go down by 5-6%, it's like a stock, right? It's a little painful to watch your net worth contract a little bit, but big picture is A, it'll come back up, and B, who cares? You're not underwater yet, right? I want to help you to get into that spot. So when you're looking to buy a house, don't just go hire a real estate agent off of Zillow and go, I want to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1,500 square foot in this neighborhood, and this is what I want to pay for it, right? Don't do that. Go find yourself a foreclosure deals coach agent who knows how to find you a deal, especially now when times are so uncertain. You've got to be looking for deals in this marketplace, because if not, God bless you, but you're going to get cremated, man. The time is now to be focused on, I'm still in shock that the talking heads of the media and saying the real estate market is bulletproof. This is never going to go down. Yet here we are. Nobody's talking that mess now, right?
Oh, no.
But the guy that's been for years been telling you the market's going to correct has been proven right yet again. And now we're in a situation where you can capitalize on that. Okay, so I want to help you with that, but if you need my assistance, you want my assistance as an investor, as a retail buyer, I can hook you up with a top-notch agent that knows how to find a deal. And even in those situations where they know it, I review deals from all over the country for my agents just to make sure that they're going to be in line with that guarantee of $10,000 worth of equity, right? And then start looking off market. If you want to get into a big wholesaling strategy and you want to do this full time, let's talk about that. I work with investors all across the country. I'd be honored to work with you as well. But the point is, guys, the market is changing. Your attitude towards how to buy real estate needs to change as well. The time is now, the place is here, and this is the show, right? So we're going to wrap up because, hey, we want to keep these short and sweet. The fact of the matter is this information is best absorbed in short doses because it's so much to take in. There's so much going on. We don't overwhelm you with one episode. But, guys, get involved. Let's get started. Head on out to Foreclosure Deals Coach, the Facebook page. Message us there if you'd like. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm Donny Coram, DonnyCoram. Real easy to find me. I'm the super attractive guy that'll pop up when you put that name in, right? And then I will help you to navigate whatever waters you're working with in the foreclosure market so we can make a big difference in your life. With that, this is Donny Coram, your foreclosure deals coach, reminding you once again, don't you dare buy a house, buy a deal.